As I suspected. Thank you, mademoiselle. You said there was scorching on Madame Doyle's temple, indicating that the gun was held very close to the skin. That is so. And those same scorch marks will indicate that there was nothing between the gun and her skin. No items such as a piece of cloth used to muzzle the gun, nipper. Yeah, I'd stake my reputation on it. Between the muzzle of the gun and her skin, there was no barrier of any kind. Andrew Pennington. Lynette's American lawyer and the manager of a good portion of her funds. He says he's on vacation in Egypt. So he was the one that was furious about some papers. Poor little Lynette. I worked for her father, so I've known her for years. And now she's gone. What a tragedy. I slept through most of it. I heard voices around midnight. Pretty sure they were coming from Besner's cabin next door. I didn't hear any shots. Look here, isn't it clear that Jackie de Belfort did it? She was having target practice at Linda's husband's just minutes before. I'm afraid nothing is clear. Target practice? I can't help you there. I've worked for her family a long time, but, well, she lived in England and I live in New York. But you knew her financial affairs immediately. Intimately, did you not? There was nothing that connected to anyone aboard this boat? Well, I did recognize one passenger. Cornelia Robson is the daughter of a man Lynn's father ruined in business. He was an aggressive player. Robson wasn't the only man he buried. Lynn's marriage must have come as a shock. In the natural course of things, you would have retained control of her estate until her 21st birthday. But when her marriage, you had to turn it over at once. So, everything's in tip-top shape. I had no idea Lynette had gotten married until I arrived in Egypt for vacation and we happened to run into each other. I was surprised, naturally, but wished her all the best. So her father almost ruined Lynette's father. Businesslike. Alright, Pennington's room. Let's start in there. Oh. An Egyptian style-like room. I like that. 12 pieces of paper. I like to tore up papers in this game. They're so small. So how many do we need for? That was something else. Legal rights transfer. This document certifies that Andrew Pennington, Esquire, has unlimited and exclusive rights to access the banking account of Lynette Doyle listed below, and that all transactions, including those initiated by Mrs. and Mr. Doyle, must go through Mr. Pennington. In addition, all statements are to be sent to the law offices of Mr. Pennington. This must be the document Monsieur Pennington wanted Lynette Doyle to sign. It is clear why she refused. There's something he tries to conceal. He's trying to take all her money. That's what's going on. There was scrap there. So one more piece of paper. Right there, okay. A revolver. Ooh. Is that a clue? Why does this man bring a revolver on holiday? Yeah, that's a good question. A boat? It could have been one of those Egyptian old boats. It's right here. Like this one. A microscope. A snake. Yeah, why not a snake? That's an ink. Okay, let's keep that in mind. A cognac. Right there. A walking cane. A scarab. Where did I see that? I saw it just before, right here. A sarcophagus. So now we just need a snake. It could be a very thin one, a very small one. Could be lying on top of something else. Oh my goodness. They certainly did a good job back then. Oh, it's right here. Alright, in the daughter's room again. She's still laying there. She must smell bad now. A key. So we found all the clues. This investigation, that is. Is that a key? It is. A Q. Diamond tiara. Yeah, 2 perfume bottles. Yes. A telephone. A bride. A gift. Some towels. A dog. And a bear. Alright. Miss Fanny Charlotte's room. 5 butterflies. There's one here. Alright, you need to check everything. That's the second. Third. Oh, there's one here. Because I noticed that last time a couple of times. And the last one. Always the last one. Unless this is a... no, it looks like a sundial, yeah. But we needed that as well, so that's good. A butterfly. I hate these butterflies. The butterflies in this game have been so well hidden. There's one there, okay. Aphrodite. Aphrodite. How is he depicted here? I have no clue. No. Of course not like that. So how's Aphrodite depicted here? She's right there, okay. Gloves? Okay. A cat? Yeah. So this is a fox, apparently. A lady's fan. That was a hat. What's up here? A panda. Some grapes. Grapes? I haven't seen any grapes in here. What's going on with this game? Keep throwing things at me that I haven't seen anything about. Piano? That's a tiny one. 2 pairs of shoes. So now we need grapes and a cat. There's a cat sleeping there, okay. And now we just need some grapes. So these grapes, are they green or are they red? We do have a red carpet here. But those types of grapes are usually a little bit more light in color or dark in color. In green grapes, the only thing that's green is over here, so it must be something else. Like a drawing or something? And I can't keep random clicking, otherwise I'll just get penalized. And we still have one more room to check out. Grapes. Oh, they're right there. Alright, back to the mechanics room. A seahorse. Where did I see that? I think I saw it there, yeah. A chisel. Then again, I can't quite remember this room. An ashtray. A cat. We only have a pair in here. There's a cat there. A clown. Clown's a mask. We have a spoon. Football. A woven mat. A woven mat. And of course there isn't any mat on the floor. Ah. Spatula. Stands here. A raincoat. Alright, so we wrapped it up. And we need to figure out what's written on this letter. So this goes over here. Looks like these goes down here. Alright. Monsieur Pennington lied. He did receive the letter from Lynette and purposely followed her on this trip. If he was embezzling, her marriage would have been a cause for great concern. But was it enough for murder? Dear Uncle Andrew, I know you'll be excited as I am about my news. I am to be married. His name is Simon Doyle and will be wed the morning of the 4th. Oh, Uncle Andrew, I'm happy. I will invite you to the wedding, but there's no chance for you to arrive here in time. In fact, I will probably be wed by the time you get this letter. Afterwards, we'll leave immediately for our honeymoon. We're touring Europe, then going to Egypt, where we'll be taking a cruise on the Nile. I hope when I return we can sit down and go over the financial papers. That was a quick wedding. There you are, Poirot. I have vital information. I know who the killer is. You have evidence, madam? Certainly. I saw Louise's killer with my own eyes. What's that you say? You saw Louise's killer? I don't believe it. No need to shout, Mr. Doyle. I'm sure old Bessner wouldn't want you to get agitated. But it's incredible. You'd better start at the beginning. I will. It was when I went to lunch. I hardly felt like eating. All the horror of the recent tragedy. Halfway there, I remembered that I had forgotten an appointment. I had just passed my own cabin when I heard a door open behind me. I glanced back and saw. Then tell us, madame, who did you see? It was... He got away. This killer has nerves of steel. Oh, but he or she had no choice. Dash it. What do we do now? We continue the meticulous investigation of everyone on board. We're close, mon ami. The murderer will be in our grasp very shortly. So that's the third shooting. No word as to if she died or anything. Alright, Cornelia Robson is under investigation now. Let's check the saloon. No, she's gone. We don't know if she's dead or... She may maybe just be injured. Why did you bring a revolver on board? Why not? It's not a crime to travel with a gun. I have a right to protect myself, don't I? I have a license. But what a temptation. You're fortunate that your revolver is of a larger caliber than the one that shot Madame Doyle. It appears, Monsieur Pennington, that you are the unfortunate owner of a smoking gun. Confess. Confess? Look here, anyone could have taken that from my room. I made no secret of it that. The fact that I traveled with a revolver and I never locked my door. Blast it. I didn't shoot Mrs. Otterborn. So it was his gun that was used on Mrs. Otterborn. Where were you at the time that Salome Otterborn was shot? I don't like the implication, Poirot. I was in the bar writing letters. I have no idea what was going on until well after the fact. The barman and the porter saw me there. They'll tell you. Okay, let's ask the porter. Oh dear me, that did see Mr. Pennington at the time of the shooting. He was working on some papers in the bar. I'm quite certain of it. Alright, so he has an alibi. Mrs. Allerton is a widow. She was a very modest pension from her late husband. Her only child is Tim Allerton, which is particularly close. Tim and I were on the upper deck and I didn't see anything. We only came down when we heard a commotion. No, we didn't know Lynette Doyle, Tim and I, but our cousin Joanna Southworth knew her quite well. Joanna has a lot of wealthy friends. She seems to have a knack for it. I don't approve of her friendship with Tim, but what can a mother do? Excuse me a bit, that letter we assembled before, didn't it say Uncle Andrew? Tim has a hard time. Oh yeah, his name is Tim, okay. He never's been well enough to work a normal job. He surprised me when he suggested his vacation, but he got the money from a business deal. You couldn't ask for a more devoted son. I retired early. Tim and I normally stay up and play cards in my room, but he said he was tired and begged off. I went to bed, maybe 10:30. I didn't hear anything. Miss Van Schuyler. Cousin Marie was so generous to bring me on this trip. Why, I never thought of getting to come to Egypt, and now here I'm in Egypt. I'm so grateful. Were you asked to keep an eye on her? I wouldn't put it that way. I'm more of a companion. Why? What do you mean? You do not know? Then that is something you should discuss with Mademoiselle Bowers. Where were you when the shooting of Madame Otterborn took place? So she is dead. I was in my room. I heard a commotion and I looked out. I saw Dr. Beston and Rosalie hurrying past my door, so I followed them. We rounded the deck and saw you and Colonel Ray standing there with the gun. Oh, what a terrible day. Why don't we ask her? She's the daughter. Miss Van Schuyler? I can't help if my cabin is always near the murder scene. If you'd done your job, there wouldn't have been another murder. And don't ask me a load of bothersome questions. I didn't hear or see a thing. The heat makes me sleepy in the afternoons and I was napping. Okay. So, Cornelia Robson's room. Let's take a look in there. Newspaper article. We don't have a lot of items in here. Mr. Douglas Robson, once a prominent businessman in Connecticut, ended his life yesterday under circumstances that are being withheld out of respect for the family. Mr. Robson was a wealthy man until he got involved with the stock of a small shipping company last year. The company founders withheld key information about a liquidation from the stockholders while selling out their own shares. This unscrupulous business practice has been roundly denounced, but so far no action has been taken against certain overseas businessmen who used this technique too. Pennington was telling the truth about Mademoiselle Robson. She did have a reason to hate Lynette Doyle. Well, looks like everybody knows everyone, or have had some past dealings with each other. 3 tea bags in a cup. I guess it's this one. It is. And the last one. These items are so tiny. Oh, it's right here. Photo in a frame. Mademoiselle Robson travels with a photograph of her father. Or did she bring it on this trip particularly to give herself fortification, perhaps? Yeah, that's a good question. Then we have a mug. Well, a mug should be pretty obvious. We've already used this one, so it's not that one. Alright. Then we have a shoe. It's nicely tucked in here. A rose. That's a tulip. There sure is a lot of flowers in here. What is this? It does look like a flower, just the upside down. A tulip, sunflower, marigolds.